Bai Lu's Transformation, the art of quiet confidence in a loud world. Every breakthrough begins as a private promise. For Bai Lu, that promise was persistence. Before anyone knew her name, she learned to metabolize rejection into fuel. Instead of interpreting a closed door as failure, she treated it like feedback: adjust, refine, try again. This mindset reveals something crucial. Her success isn't an accident, it's a system. She absorbed techniques from mentors, studied micro-expressions, practiced stillness as a form of presence, and cultivated emotional range with deliberate repetition. Most people chase visibility, she pursued credibility. While others rushed to be seen, she invested in being felt. That's why early supporters became lifelong believers. They didn't just witness talent, they recognized seriousness of purpose. The lesson is bigger than entertainment. When you build quietly, your work speaks loudly. And when the world finally looks your way, you arrive with substance ready, not just style rehearsed. Audiences connect with her because she never treats emotion like decoration. She treats it like truth. On camera, her choices are precise. A delayed blink to imply doubt, a breath held to telegraph courage, a softened jaw to suggest surrender. Those details read as natural, but they're the result of relentless craft. She understands how vulnerability works, never as melodrama, always as consequence. Off camera, she protects the instrument that makes this possible, the mind. She journals, annotates, and maps a character's private logic until it becomes second nature. That inner homework translates into outer ease. Viewers feel they're watching a person, not a performance. This is why casual viewers become advocates, because sincerity, when meticulously built, feels effortless. Her transformation isn't cosmetic, it's internal engineering, the kind that leaves a lasting impression even after the scene fades. Crowded carpets are designed to dilute individuality, yet Bai Lu made the space feel intimate. The white silhouette, the measured gait, the serenity in her gaze, together they created a cinematic freeze frame. What happened that night was more than virality, it was narrative control. She calibrated contrast, softness of fabric against firm composure, luminosity against restraint. That paradox read as authority. Social timelines didn't just share her images, they negotiated her meaning. Words like goddess, timeless, and ethereal trended because viewers grasped an unspoken thesis: power doesn't have to be loud. She transformed spectacle into story by slowing time. Every step a chapter, every glance a punctuation mark. The crowd's silence wasn't emptiness, it was attention. And attention, sustained without gimmickry, is the rarest currency in modern celebrity. Trends are disposable, elegance compounds. What looked like simplicity was actually strategy, minimalism as message. By subtracting noise, she amplified intention. Body language experts would call it open frame calm, shoulders lowered, center of gravity stable, movements clean and unhurried. This communicates safety to the audience's subconscious and invites trust. Elegance, in this sense, isn't fragility, it's precise control. She wildet restreint like a blade, cutting through chaos without driving blood. The effect is disarming. Instead of competing for attention, she commands it by refusing to chase it. In an age addicted to spectacle, that discipline reads as sophistication. The takeaway for anyone watching: polish is not pretense, it's preparation you can feel. And when preparation meets presence, the room reorients around you. Authenticity is a craft, not an accident. Bai Lu's public warmth emerges from private rigor, checking ego at the door, listening more than speaking, and choosing kindness without turning saccharine. She lets audiences see edges, doubt, fatigue, longing, yet she frames them as human, not headlines. That balance generates loyalty deeper than fleeting hype. Crucially, she refuses the posture of untouchability. Instead of presenting perfection, she demonstrates process. Fans recognize effort and mirror it back as devotion. This is why her community feels stable, it's built on earned intimacy. She's not performing relatability, she practices respect. In a marketplace where sincerity is often commodified, hers feels intact, even protective. The paradox is elegant. The more real she permits herself to be, the more iconic she becomes. Contrast makes charisma visible. Bai Lu balances gentleness with nerve, grace with grit. That contrast is emotionally nutritious for viewers. It gives them someone to root for, not merely admire. People sense her preparation, the quiet hours nobody posts about, and they respond with long-term attention. Another factor is narrative coherence. Her choices, public demeanor, creative discipline, personal privacy, align into a single message: dignity is durable. Alignment breeds believability, and believability scales. Brands, journalists, and fans share one instinct: trust the person who seems internally consistent. In her case, the through line is clear: beauty never compensates for effort, it elevates it. That's why moments like Weibo Night don't feel like flukes, they feel like milestones on a road she paved herself. Bai Lu's appeal sits at the intersection of tradition and modernity. She honors classic ideals: composure, restraint, refinement, while embodying contemporary agency. That synthesis resonates across generations. Elders value the respectfulness, younger audiences admire the self-possession. She proves that femininity can be strategic without becoming cynical, and powerful without becoming performative. As a cultural signal, she challenges a false choice: spectacle or seriousness. She demonstrates a third path: substance delivered beautifully. This matters because public figures shape public appetite. When someone like Bai Lu thrives, taste shifts, understatement recovers prestige, and audiences rediscover patience for nuance. The cultural win isn't just her rise, it's the rising permission for quiet excellence to be seen as exciting. Legends aren't built by moments alone, they're stabilized by habits. Colleagues recount small, telling gestures, a word of encouragement before a take, an unasked-for rehearsal to steady a newcomer's nerves, the discipline to show up early and leave late when the scene demands more. None of that trends online, but it compounds trust behind the scenes, and trust is what carries talent through tight corridors. Her personal boundaries are equally instructive. She treats visibility as a responsibility, not an entitlement, keeping what must remain private truly private. That boundary work protects the creativity that fans value most. By curating access, she preserves mystery without manufacturing distance, a delicate equilibrium that many attempt and few sustain. Why does that white gown evening still echo? Because it resolved a story the audience had been subconsciously following. Would quiet mastery ever triumph over constant noise? In that instant, it did. The imagery crystallized a thesis: poise is power, and the public rewarded it with reverence instead of mere applause. Look closely and you'll see choreography without choreography: the pace of her steps, the angle of her shoulders, the decision to let the dress move rather than make it move. Each choice telegraphed authorship. That's why the photos feel iconic: they captured ownership, not ornamentation. Legends form when image and idea lock into place. That night, the lock clicked. Legacy is a pattern repeated long enough to become language. Bai Lu's emerging language speaks of considerate strength, purposeful silence, and excellence that refuses shortcuts. It invites a new aspiration model for fans: not be famous, but be formidable. If she continues with the same alignment, craft first, character always, her influence will outlast the cycles of viral attention. For viewers, her arc offers a blueprint: protect your standards, perfect your process, and let your work compound until the room quiets itself. When that happens, you won't need to demand the spotlight, you'll become the reference point for it. That's where she stands now, less a participant in the moment than an author of it. And that is the anatomy of a phenomenon: how Bai Lu turned Weibo Night into a masterclass in modern elegance. If this story moved you, if it clarified why her presence feels different, stay with us. Subscribe to LVT-SHOWBIZ, ring the notification bell, and share this video with someone who believes quiet power is still power. Now it's your turn. What did you feel watching her that night? Calm, awe, pride, inspiration? Drop your reflections below. Your comment could be the perspective another viewer needs. Thank you for spending your time with us. At LVT-SHOWBIZ, we don't chase trends, we chronicle turning points.
Until next time, protect your craft, protect your peace, and let your light do the talking.